Libra, Happy New Year and Happy January. Are you ready for these energies to get started for 2026? Let's have an aligned Astro chat about it. Hello all, Stacy the Black Feather Intuitive, and welcome to your Transformational Tarot for the month of January. And again, Happy New Year. So excited to be connecting with you guys today. And this is for all of my Libras. And this is for Sun, Moon, and Rising. And also if you have your Libra placement in Venus or Mars, you will get a lot of benefit out of this reading. Also, if you have a Libra in your life that you love, this is a great way to stay on top of where they might be processing things and just kind of understanding where they're coming from. So feel free to take what works for you and leave the rest behind. We are going to be pulling an overarching theme today from the Healing Spirits Oracle from Gordon Smith. And then the deck that was calling to me today for you guys is the Glimmer Walker Tarot. And who is this by? I forget who it's by, but it's Glimmer Walker Tarot, and it's awesome. I think it's the Vermilion concept. So without further ado, let's get to it. Okay, so I just want to share some exciting information with you while I'm shuffling up your theme. Is after 11 years, I am finally now able to offer memberships to my YouTube subscribers. So if you are interested in keeping the conversation going and doing kind of a deeper dive with me on a monthly basis, I encourage you to click on the join button and explore the 3 different membership types that I have. Super pumped to be able to connect with you guys in that way if it floats your boat. All right, let's see what we got for you, Libras. You are on the right path. Wow. What a great message from Spirit. What a fantastic way to start the reading off. So knowing, I keep hearing this, and this has been coming up a lot actually in the last couple of weeks for me. If you knew that your success was inevitable, your success was assured, how would that inform your choices? How would that change the way you move forward? You are on the right path. So if you know that everything that you're doing right now is the right path in the right direction for you, then you can trust that whatever crosses your path in January is meant to be. It's happening for you. Whether we judge it as good, bad, or indifferent matters not. The universe is saying it's here for you. It's happening for you. And so if you know that already, wow, think of the lightening of the load that is, what burden you're releasing. There are so many things you don't have to worry about. You don't have to keep track of. This says you're on the right path. So it's just a matter of you being like, okay, the universe must have its method to its madness about this. So universe, what do I need to know? What do I need to understand about this particular situation or incident? I feel like this month for you Libras, there's going to be a lot of relationship stuff that is unresolved. It goes from unresolved to resolved. And some of this I feel is because you're driving that particular bus, so to speak. And some of that is happening I'm going to say in spite of you. So it's really going to kind of depend on the situation where things are at for you. But I am seeing that there is going to be resolution around some sticky situations with relationship. You don't need to be fearful of this. I feel almost like it's a relief. It's kind of like, oh, okay, that's one less thing I got to think about. I'm glad that's done and over with. And regardless of the outcome, I'm moving forward and I'm feeling good about, having something new to put my focus to. So lots of energy around where your focus is already off the top of the hat. Okay, presently, where are you right now in your transformational journey? What part of you is shifting, rising, or dissolving? Interesting. 10 of fruit. This is 10 of pentacles. This is, you might enjoy the Virgo reading as well because they got a 10 of pentacles in this same position. So there might be something in there for you if that resonates. Take a look at the Virgo reading. Here we have, okay, so 10 of fruit, 10 of pentacles. You're really in a space right now where you are evaluating, like we're seeing the image. You're in the dark but there's light all around you, and you're trying to do some shadow work. You're trying to figure out what the meaning of your legacy is. You're trying to figure out how to shine your light best, where to deposit your light, where to deposit your energy, where to invest. Where am I going to get the most bang for my buck? Where am I investing where people are really enjoying what it is that I have to offer? And where am I investing where it's crickets and nobody is connecting to any of it? I feel that there's something coming up here in January where you're doing a lot of swift release, like a cutting things out. So, it's kind of like when an auditor comes in to audit a business or audit some paperwork. They can come in and they're objective about it. They're not emotionally attached to the outcome. So they take a look at things and they're like, okay, well, you don't need 25 of these. You can, easily get away with 14. So we're going to cut out. That's done. Okay. And let's look at the next line. Okay. This seems good. This seems good. Oh, here we've got something here. Not sure why you're thinking that this has to go here all the time, because it really doesn't. That's a waste of your resource. So we're going to put it over here instead. And it has, less time to go, which means it's more cost effective to be able to do that. I'm feeling very much this energy for you, Libra, of being very clear cut and decisive. And it's interesting because Libras often are touted for being wishy-washy. Not this month. January, I'm feeling like it's going to be very clear to you what needs to go, what needs to be streamlined, and where your focus is. Because I feel like January, you don't need to be psychic to know that January often sets people's years up. That's just kind of the nature of the way we see the new year in the collective. But that aside, you as Libras, I'm hearing this message specifically for you, that January is the month that sets the tone for the rest of the year. There was another sign that got that message too. I can't remember, maybe Libra, Leo, maybe. But anyway, not every sign is getting that. So for you guys, it's getting really clear on where you're going to invest, where you're investing of your time, your energy, your heart, your resources. And I want to say your desires. Where are you investing your desires? Because that's where you're going to shine your light. And anything that doesn't fall into those categories this year, it's just not going to be a priority. It's not going to be a focus. It'll be there, at another time if you really want to connect with that and explore that energy. But for now, it needs to go. So I feel that you are going to be dissolving. And as a result of the dissolution, you're rising. I feel that's what that's all about. Catalyst, what's fueling or hindering your transformation? And is it resistance or rocket fuel? So this is, okay, so 7 of Pentacles, interesting, 7 of fruit. Now is the time to reap the harvest. Just in the last couple of months, you've come to the realization where you've been giving yourself away, giving the power away, not being completely clear-headed or present or in your body, in the physical capacity. And you're recognizing now, that's not going to work for me. I need to be present in my life. I need to step up and make these decisions. I need to be accountable. I need to be responsible, because now I know the direction that I'm taking. So there's no need to have any doubt. There's no more questioning of what this is. There's a clear path ahead. And so now it's just about me saying yes to it. The 7 of Pentacles typically is a card of harvest, reaping rewards, but it also indicates, okay, the one phase of harvest is done, but that opens us up to a new phase of harvest, which means it was hard work before. Well, now it's a different kind of hard work. And I'm feeling very much that when we talk about this as a catalyst, I feel like this is actually going to fuel your direction. It's going to be that rocket fuel for you, because you are clearing the decks and you're not taking a ton of time around it. I talked about that relationship stuff and clearing the decks and clearing a path. When you recognize, when all of this is kind of done and you're over the initial work of it, you're going to recognize how much more energy you actually have. Your harvest has come in, and you're going to say, oh my God, why didn't I do this sooner? If I had done this sooner, I would have had energy to do this and this and this and this and this. And don't think of it in that way. Just understand that, okay, it's all happening because it needs to go. I need to have my energy. I need to have all of my energy. I need to have the wholeness and the totality of my energy in order to be able to do what it is that I've come here to do, what I am ready to do. Your deep root, what deep belief, wound, or soul contract is driving this transformation under the surface? Interesting. Feeling stuck, feeling paralyzed, feeling as though whatever decisions you make or choices that you make, they're going to go wrong. It's going to go awry. Feeling this extreme anxiety, paralyzing anxiety. And what I want to point out here is with this Hanged Man, we're seeing the pearl at the bottom of the ocean. And yeah, it's been through a lot, but it's now fully formed and it's ready to be discovered. But it has to kind of sit and chill and wait at the bottom. It's not going to float itself to the top, right? It needs something. It needs a catalyst in order to be able to get it to the surface. And so I feel like when we're talking about that deep root for you, this is what you're afraid of. You're afraid that you finally come into your own and no one's going to see it. I'm getting a lot of energy around relationship here in terms of romantic partnership, that there are some of you out there, general reading, take what works for you, leave the rest behind. But there are some of you out there that are feeling like, okay, I've finally gotten to where it is that I'm going. And, for one limiting belief or another, I'm afraid that maybe the rose is off the bloom, or the bloom is off the rose. Sorry, I always screw up that metaphor, that the bloom is off the rose, that my time is past, that I'm no longer viable, or what I'm seeking is no longer valid or of value. And I want to say to you, no, not at all. That is very much a limiting belief. That is very much, I want to say, a wound that is going to continue to hold you back if you allow it. So I feel like instead of kind of chilling and waiting around for someone to come and, see your value and worth, you have a conversation with the clam and you say, clam, it's time to bring me up there. You know what I mean? Like, the clam is a being. The clam can move with the ocean, with the currents. The clam knows how to get from one place to another. So if the clam closes up, protects the pearl, and puts itself in, the current, eventually the clam is going to, say, okay, we're ready. We're going to go to the shore, and somebody's going to find you. So kind of a weird message, but I really feel like that Hanged Man is holding you back. And you don't need this to hold you back. It's okay for you to shine your light and to be seen and heard and felt, because now is your time to do that. And the right people that need to see and experience that are available. They're around. So open yourself to that. That's kind of interesting. What's dying away? What role, pattern, or identity has run its course? So I do feel the exhaustion of having to start over again or having to start new. I'm feeling like almost like an eye rolling and a big sigh at the idea that, are you kidding me? I've got to start this whole thing over again. Or, I've got to let this particular thing in my life go when I worked so hard to actually achieve it. Why? Why, source? Why, universe? Why, angels and guides? Why do I have to let this go? Why is this the thing that I am, being very clear cut about? I feel with the Fool energy, an exciting adventure is always an exciting adventure, but it does take a lot of energy. And even good stress is tired, right? Good stress is stress. And I feel like what's transpiring here is, when we talk about the Fool and those new beginnings, you really are kind of over the having to start from scratch again. You really are over the investment of all of that energy. We just talked about that, in these two cards. You're making the decision, you're making the determination of what needs to stay and what needs to go. And I feel like it's very important for you to recognize that it's not that you don't want the new journey. It's not that you're not excited about it. It's that you're kind of tired. You need to sort of not heal necessarily, but you need to recharge in order to be able to see the excitement of this. You know, I'm thinking of many, many years ago, I was so excited to go on. I was an opera singer at the time, and I was doing a summer in Italy performing opera. And the work and the effort that went into my process before I actually got on the plane and arrived and, started the adventure, I got to tell you, I could have used a week off of not having to do anything at all before going on the trip, just to prepare myself for the trip, because I was exhausted. And that's kind of the energy of what I'm feeling. Did I enjoy the trip? Absolutely. Did I, succeed and do all the things that I went there to do? 100%. I got it all done and everything was great. And I had a great time being there. But it didn't change the fact that I was exhausted before the game even got started, right? And I feel like that's kind of where you're at. So when we say what's dying away, I feel like it's important for you to recognize where you've put, like, overcommitted. You put so much of your time and your energy into it that you now need to kind of recharge. It's not that you're not looking forward to the new adventure. It's that you just need a little bit of time to rest and charge up for that new adventure. I hope that makes some sense. It's not exactly on the nose with the question, but that's the message that's coming through. So I'm going to go with that. Your highest Phoenix potential. What can rise from the ashes? What is your soul calling you toward? This is your breakthrough energy. And here we have Queen of Thunder. This is Queen of Swords. So it's fascinating to me because this is very much a Libra card, but also it's a card of boundaries. And I believe that's what we've really been talking about, is the recharging of your emotional battery, the recharging of your energetic battery, really evaluating what you want to invest in, what you want to get out of your investments, and what you no longer want to put time and energy into, because you are whole. You are ready to be seen and heard in the way that you are. You don't want to have to hide in plain sight, or you don't want to have to put on a mask or a front in order to people please, in order to be all things to all people. And I feel like when we talk about the highest Phoenix potential, it's you owning that truth, owning yourself, owning the fact that it's okay for you to say no to things, and it's okay for you to say yes to certain things and not other things. It's not Libras, we like to be fair and balanced. We don't want to piss anybody off. We don't want to necessarily hurt somebody's feelings. And so that's why we take painstaking time to deliberate on a decision before we make the decision. But this month, as I said, all of that deliberation is done. You're making the choice and you're moving forward. And I feel like this Queen of Swords is coming through to really help you with that. This is a tool that you're going to be using for this month, but I also feel like not only is this a tool that you're using for the month, but it's also the new foundation. You're learning to integrate this into the new version of you. And that feels really important, especially when we talk about this being breakthrough energy. I really feel like you are going to be at a place where you recognize your own value and worth, and you recognize the value of your time and energy. And you feel better when when you are reinvesting in yourself, and when you are making specific choices in what you're investing in and what you're not investing in. And I feel like what you're not investing in is even more important than what you're choosing to invest in, because that's where you're learning the lesson. That's where you're understanding, I want to say, where your energy wants to go, where you in this version of you is really wanting to go and grow. And you don't know that quite yet until you get through this month, until you make some of these choices. That feels really important. Okay, so next step, what's emerging just around the corner? What energy or experience is coming in to support the next phase? Beautiful. Six of light. So light is wands in this deck. And so Six of Wands is a card of victory. And when I look at this, what we're seeing is an individual who's for the first time, really feeling their power, really feeling their light. They've, this could be interpreted in a couple of ways, but what I'm seeing is they've come from down here and they made the journey. They climbed up there, and there's success. There's victory in the climb. There's victory in arriving at the mount, the top, and they're shining their light. Now that they've arrived there, everybody can see them, right? This Hanged One, the Pearl, everybody can see them now. I think that's just so important. When we are talking about what's emerging for you, you are emerging. You are the thing that is emerging. And it's because you're saying yes to being seen. You're seeking higher ground. You're seeking the space where you can be seen, visibly seen by a lot of people from a lot of different places or a lot of different walks of life. And you're no longer afraid of the judgment. You're no longer afraid of the outcome of that. Instead, you're saying, no, like, again, I'm recharging so that I can be excited about this journey. And I've got boundaries. So I'm shining this light and I get to determine where my light flies and falls. It's not just happening randomly anymore. This is a self-awareness journey. I know myself now. I have crossed a threshold, and I'm proud of that threshold, because that threshold is telling me that I'm ready for this next adventure. I'm ready for this next journey, and I've earned it. I've earned it. Wow, Libras. Oh my goodness. Okay. You in this process, how are you navigating this transformation? Are you resisting, flowing, grieving, or boldly rising? So you're boldly rising. You've got the Knight of Thunder, so the Knight of Swords, right? Queen of Swords, Knight of Swords. The universe has got your front, back, sides, bottom, and top. You're organized, you're structured, you're standing in your own space, and you're not afraid to move forward. You're not afraid of the energy that is going to be required to get to where you want to be, because you're now choosing it. It's about you. It's not about everyone else. It's not about anybody else's needs this month. It's about your needs. And sometimes your needs are going to include the needs of others, but it's got to come from you first. And look at her. She is a butterfly, right? She's got these beautiful butterfly wings. I feel like when we talk about your role in this process, it's recognition that the transformation is complete. This definitely feels like a rising energy where, yeah, I like to say new baby bird, wings wet, ready to take on the world, that phoenix energy, where you are the phoenix rising. And now is the time to experiment, to explore, to have some fun, to get to know this new version of self, because you worked so hard. You birthed yourself. You worked hard to get to this place. So now take the time to enjoy it. And don't let anyone else's negativity or anyone else's judgments get in the way of that. Your transformation is yours and yours alone. They can transform in whatever ways they want. Not your circus, not your monkeys. And I feel like that's really important. I don't know why, Libra, but I feel like you're going to have some people that are challenging you in your life this month. And I don't feel like they're challenging you because they've got your best interests at heart. I feel like they're challenging you because your choices are causing them to reevaluate some of their choices. And it's making them a bit uncomfortable. And to that, I say, too bad, so sad. They can live their life the way they want to. This is about you living your life in the way that you want to. You overcare, right? You overcare. This is the time to, rein that in and to bring everything into balance. And it's interesting. We talked before about It's not really about balance for you in the traditional sense of the Libra. It's more about what is it that I'm actually really wanting, because that's what needs to come into alignment. That's what's going to bring me into balance. I'm out of balance in all these other ways because I've been allowing other relationships to drain my energy. Well, now my energy is my own, and I get to dictate where it goes and how I'm able to utilize it. Circles of support. Who or what is influencing your transformation right now? And is it positive or negative? Wow, you got another sword. 10 of thunder, 10 of swords. So it's the endings. It's what you're releasing that is supporting this movement forward and supporting this embodiment of your light, your power, your energy. There's not much I feel that I need to say other than that this is coming through as a message of support. You're on the right path. There are people that you are going to need to release. There are forms, relationship forms that you're going to need to release. But man, oh man, are you ever going to feel amazing on the other side, because you're no longer going to be expending a ton of energy in places where it doesn't need to go, in places where it doesn't even land. And that is even more draining than when it lands and, somebody's just not being reciprocal and you're giving. It's worse when you give and it doesn't even land, because now it's just out there and you're like, well, shit, I could have used that, right? So 10's new beginnings based on an already established foundation. This is where you're going and growing, right? You're moving forward in that direction. You've got to choose it. And so I feel like that's what is transpiring. This is a message for you to say, yeah, there might be some pain and discomfort. There might be some sadness and some grief at what I'm choosing to release. But on the other side of it, there's me. And that is more important than anyone and anything else. Whew, I got chills. All right, hopes and fears. Who are you dreaming of becoming, and what scares you about actually doing it? Oh my God. Okay, so clearly Libra, this is all about you. It's all about it. These are all air sign energies. This is saying I've arrived, right? Like, it's all about me. Everything here rests on the choices that I make. And that's choices to cut and run, and choices to reinvest. So when we get the 3 of thunder, this is the 3 of swords typically. And I feel like we're talking about the hopes and fears. You're afraid that you're going to do this and your heart is going to be broken. There may even be some heartbreak around what you're choosing to release. But there's also the truth that I know that this is what's best for me. And maybe in some cases, I know that this is what's best for the other person as well. But that needs to be a secondary consideration. The primary consideration is me. How is this affecting me? Where is this taking me? This is also a card of self-care. And I feel like you're afraid that by making these choices, you're going to be a less compassionate person. And I want to say to you, that's not the case at all. In fact, I feel like it's going to make you a more compassionate person, because you're going to be recharged. You're going to be refilled, and you're very focused on a thing that you need to be focused on. What we put our focus to manifests, it becomes. And if our focus is scattered in 75 different directions, we're not going to get as much accomplished. You've already done the work to transform, right? You've got the wings to fly. So now it's okay for you to fly. And that compassion piece, it only makes you more compassionate. It only makes you understand the people, places, and things that need to go in your life. And it helps you to understand and have compassion for yourself. And I feel like that's the piece that's been missing for you for a little while, especially the last 3 months. I'm feeling that, self-compassion has kind of been elusive. Let's put it that way. Okay, here's your outcome if you stay on course for this month. Who will you be on the other side of this journey in January? What is the result of embracing the full cycle of death and rebirth? I love this, the 8 of light. So 8 of light, 8 of wands. One's energy is passion. It's the fire and the fuel that we live our life. It's our soul energy and our soul space. And the 8 is a card of mastery, or a number of mastery. So I feel like this is you reconnecting to your passions because you did a swift release of what was holding you back, and you've been recharged. So much recharging when we've got these lightning bolts, right? It's all about the recharge. Now you have a full tank, right? Your energy is alive. Your energy is on fire. You are good to go, and you're ready to master this next chapter. And I do feel like it is a new chapter that you are beginning. I want to say you began the chapter a while ago, but maybe you just kind of dipped your toe in the water. You didn't kind of go all in. This says, I'm ready to go all in. And that's what this really feels like, is you're choosing you, you're embodying and embracing all of that. And you're now not afraid to shine your light. And you're shining it so brightly that everybody that needs to see it and feel it and receive it now can see it and feel it and receive it. And you've got more than enough to give because you're fully recharged. And you're devoting your time to the people, places, and things that matter, to the people, places, and things that are making something of it, that are capable of receiving it. And in that process, it's reciprocal. Now you feel it. You're giving it and you're receiving it back at the same time. It's more fulfilling. For those of you, I want to say, that are contemplating a career shift or a career change, not just a job shift, but a career shift, this is confirmation. This is a yes. It's time to take the leap. It's time to, do the education, or to apply for the new jobs, or to say yes to the opportunity that's showing up to do something entirely different. You will be successful. The success is assured. You are on the right path. So lean into that. Wow. Okay, Libra. So that is your reading for January of 2026. Again, Happy New Year. So excited to be doing this wild ride called Life with You again in 2026. I still have some spots available for my Your Year in Preview 2026 reading, as well as the Your Year in Transformation 2026 reading, if you wanted to get a sneak peek of what is to come from a prediction perspective for your year. You'll definitely want to do the year in preview. And if you want to do a real solid deep dive and understand how you're going to be transforming and what your soul is calling you to do this year in 2026, click on the link below and book that session. You won't be disappointed. They're my most popular limited time services ever. So would love to share that with you guys. And until we see you for another episode of Black Feather Couture, Divining a VIP Life, I am sending you lots of love and support. We'll see you on the flip side, and transform well.